explain because it's a complex technology, but works. We're having a major technical difficulty. But fuck it.
Bring it back.
This is very hard to explain because it's a complex technology, but I hope this works. We're having a major technical difficulty. But fuck it.
Bring it back.
I hope this works. We're having a major technical difficulty. But fuck it.
From the 𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗀 production team studios in the Netherlands, my name is 𝗵𝗲𝗿𝗀 and welcome to this live stream. My mission is not to sell you as many apps as I can, no, my mission is to educate and teach you about audio track collection management and conversion for DJs, so you save yourself more time for the fun and creative part of being a DJ. Each Tuesday, 7 o'clock PM Central European Time, I host this Ask Me Anything live stream, and you may think, who are you, 𝗵𝗲𝗿𝗀? I am a 57-year-old dude from the Netherlands. I had my first DJ residency at the age of 15, which means this is over 40 years of DJ experience in the flesh. I am no longer an active DJ, I call myself a retired DJ, but I like to do a few gigs a year, but nothing even close to what it used to be. However, you may know me, and now I wished I had this prepared because I didn't prepare that properly. but you may know me from a little app that I wrote, and that is the DJ conversion utility. Let me find that for you, because then you know what I'm talking about, which allows you to convert between various DJ software, maintaining your cues, your loops, your playlists, and all that other good stuff. It's not the only app I created for DJs. I created tons of other apps for DJs, all aimed at making your life as a DJ a little bit easier and a little bit more efficient. We have a packed show today. It is going to be a very busy show because we have a lot to talk about. And one of the things we need to talk about is...
This is very hard to explain because it's a complex technology, but...
And more about that in a moment. But before we dive in all the way, let's say hi to the people that are already in the chat. Do the DJ, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you too, Do. Good to have you with us as each week. I really appreciate that. Then we have Edwin Holthuis. Good evening, 𝗵𝗲𝗍𝗍, everything okay? We are doing fine here, Erwin. Good to have you with us too. Eddie Brom, good evening, 𝗵𝗲𝗍𝗍. Good evening, Eddie. DJ 𝗁𝗫𝗃𝗀𝗃, which is new to the stream. Welcome, my friend. Good to have you with us. Good to see you. Your mic went out during the video. And is it out now? Let's see. Yeah, my mic should be sending. So that should be good. Can somebody confirm that the audio is indeed working or not? The moment I switch, indeed, the video should go off.
I hope this works. We're having a major technical difficulty. But fuck it.
So yes, the moment I switch back, yeah, when the Grime video plays, then it goes out. Indeed it goes out, but good to see it there. All right, the first question is coming from Yoshi Batosh. Hi 𝗵𝗲𝗍𝗍. My question is DJ Studio. They said they cannot support the djay Pro database because they say they have a proprietary database. What's your thought on this? Yes, every DJ software has a proprietary database. There ain't no such thing as a universal database system for all DJs. I wish that was true, but it isn't. But it is doable, it is hackable if you like. The DJ conversion utility converts to it, so hey, they should be able to do that too. And maybe they will in the future, who knows. In the meantime, what you can do to counter that is to convert to Rekordbox. I think the DJ Studio can export to Rekordbox 6 database, and then you can use the DJ conversion utility to go from Rekordbox to djay Pro. So it is doable, but hey, it's up to them how and if they want to support that. But every DJ software stores its data in a proprietary way. That is the nature of the beast, and one of the reasons why guys like I exist, who makes it possible to go from one into another. I hope that makes it a little bit more clear there. DJ 𝗁𝗫𝗀𝗀, any idea when are they releasing the new Rekordbox update? I think you are aiming at Rekordbox 7. I think they release it when it's ready. It's always kind of hard to really predict major updates, even if you are developing them, because there might pop up some issues at the last moment and then you want to fix that as a developer. So I think that internally, of course, they have some target dates at 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀, which they will never communicate outside, but it will get there. Though the DJ, it's good, but when the Grimes video played, yeah, then the mic cuts off. That's okay. And Matthew Hall, good evening to you too. Good to have you with us. In the meantime, like I said, I have a lot of things that I'm going to discuss with you guys, so you have to bear with me. First of all, we are going over some DJ news. Then, of course, what everybody is waiting for is, hey, what happened to Grimes at Coachella? And I will go in detail about that later on in the show. I even did prepare a slide deck for it, and we are going to demonstrate it live on the CDJ 3000 right in front of me, what happened there. So, hey, you will see what happened at her show in a moment. But first, let's go over some news here, shall we? And for that, it makes sense if I prepare this kind of stuff. I was so busy this afternoon preparing the slides for the Grimes thing and making sure that everything indeed works as I want it to work. But okay, like Grimes already said.
This is very hard to explain because it's a complex technology, but
yes, I made them shortcuts and they are in my Stream Deck, so I'm going to abuse the shit out of it because it's so funny. Though the DJ, the Rekordbox beta is still a bit buggy. Gonna test it again this weekend, but still needs more work. Yeah, it definitely needs more work. In general, there is a reason why companies like 𝗵𝗃𝗃 put out a test version, a test beta for people to test, to find bugs, because it's so hard with complex software to find all the bugs yourself. You try it, I always try it, but with major releases I also always do a public beta where the users of my app know, alright, it might work, it might not work, and that way it's much easier to do it, and you put out a more solid product. And they did put out the beta to find bugs in it, but my problem with the beta of Rekordbox 7 personally is that it doesn't support the cloud. And I understand why it doesn't support the cloud, because simply the cloud would mess up if you have both versions supporting the cloud. So they have to make a choice. Is it 6 or 7 that is in the cloud, or you should have 2 clouds? But otherwise things can merge, things can go bad. So I understand why it's not there. But let's face it, the thing that really needs fixing in Rekordbox is the cloud. And 𝗫𝗵𝗿𝗀 likes those minions. Yeah, those were part of a larger clip saying but I thought I'd take the small one out of it. So we have the minions with it as well, but that's basically because 𝗵𝗲 and I are big minions fans together. So you cannot have enough minions for that. On with the show. First of all, and most of you already noticed this, Tidal finally supports, or the DJ software finally supports Tidal again. Now, for some versions of DJ software you may need a different version, like for Serato you need to be on version 3.13 if I'm not mistaken, and that version went out a few days ago, and you can update it. I personally like to download updates totally as an installer and then update it from the installer instead of let it partly update or update within the app, but that is me personally. There is one very important thing that you need to be aware of about the Tidal and stems thing. And that is that you need to enable what is known as the DJ extension. The DJ extension is not something you load in your DJ software. No, the DJ extension is an extension of your Tidal subscription. And the issue that some of you might have is that they signed up for Tidal on their iPhone or on their Android device, and those subscribers cannot enable the DJ extension. It's not possible for them to enable it. You can only enable it if you have signed up for Tidal using the Tidal site. Now they put out an email where you can say, all right, email support, and then they will fix that for you. So if you did initiate your Tidal subscription through iOS, through an iPhone or through an Android phone, then you cannot enable the DJ extension, and that means you have to contact Tidal support and let them help you doing it for you. Make sure that you have the correct data for them to fix that. What does it look like? If you log into your Tidal account on the Tidal site, then you see under subscription that in my case it's individual and DJ extension. This might look a little bit different than yours, simply because I have a complimentary Tidal subscription. So I think you need to be on the higher tier in order for this to work. Now if you click on that change plan button below it, you get to this page, and there you can enable that Tidal extension. And once it is enabled, you can once again use stems in your DJ software for Tidal tracks. So make sure that you did all those steps, and then you should be totally fine. Another thing that happened and that is worth noting is that our friends from Virtual DJ did put out an update known as Virtual DJ 2024. There are a few things that changed. First of all, they made it possible to export within DJ to the cloud. And another thing that they did, and that was like my wish come true, they limited the way that you use Virtual DJ playlists, known as Virtual DJ folders in the past. Let's have a quick look together how this all adds up. It sounds like small thingies, but kind of big thingies they are if you are unaware of them. So let's fire up my Virtual DJ, which will not fire up, so hold on for that. There you go again. If you prepare this kind of stuff, then you should be fine. But if you don't, then you have to do that, well, on a live stream. Oh, this is fine. All right, let's do this. Yes, that's fine too. Go away. So here we have Virtual DJ, and what is new about it is in the past you could make Virtual DJ folders with the little symbol that was there, a little folder symbol, and then you made like these. These are Virtual DJ folders, and those could contain other Virtual DJ folders, or they could contain playlists. Kind of how the crates are working for Serato. And actually Serato, Engine DJ and Virtual DJ have a lot in common when it comes to how their database operates. It's what is known as a distributed database. Parts of the database are stored where the audio files are stored. Now, these are the old Virtual DJ playlists or folders, and they still work, but you cannot add to them. As you can see, you can no longer add. You cannot right click and add to them. However, they made a new thing called My Lists. And within My Lists, if you open it, you can right click and you can say add a list. And there you can say the hello one. And you can add a new list to that. Or you can add tracks to it, or you can make lists within lists, you can move them, you can do all kinds of stuff with them. So that is the new way of working with Virtual DJ and working with lists. And like I said, I love it because I was waiting for this to happen for such a long time. The DJ conversion utility has been updated, so it supports both the new list structure and the Virtual DJ folder structure of the past. The problem that the DJ conversion utility had with that virtual folder structure was that those Virtual DJ folder structures could be anywhere in your collection. And I limited the DJ conversion utility to only work with the ones that were at the root of your collection. But using the My List doesn't have that distinction anymore, because the only place where you now can make playlists, Virtual DJ folders, is within the My List segment of Virtual DJ. Then the other thing, like I said, that happened, and let me see if those tracks are available. Yeah, they are available, is that you can now use, for instance, a cloud drive, or you can use Dropbox, or you can use whatever you are using as a cloud service. Let's see if I can get this up to speed with export. Yeah, export. And then we can export to CDJ Pro, text, playlist only. No. I think I have to log into Virtual DJ with my account in order for this to work. So hold on, let me switch that on and let's see that. Maybe I remember how to log in my Virtual. You have, do you want to use new version? No, that's fine, go, oh no. Come on, no. And then I want to go through that. And through that. And that should be fine. Okay, then it may work. Let's have a look here. So here we are again. Is my Dropbox running? My Dropbox is running. And then when we go to the online music, it should say Dropbox somewhere. I did figure this out a moment ago, but like I said, have been very busy. Oh yeah, sync to iCloud. Yeah, that's the one. No. So right here, for instance, I can say sync to cloud drive. and click here to connect to your cloud drive, and then you can say which cloud drive you want. So in our instance it's Dropbox, and then it will ask me permission to go to Dropbox. I'm not going to jump through all those hoops, but then it will work through Dropbox. The big limitation is that if you were already a DJ using Dropbox for your audio files, then you still need to export to Dropbox. It's not an intelligent system. The same with Google Drive, the same with iCloud Drive. You have to go through, export it, so you have to right click the playlist, for instance, that you want to sync with the cloud drive, and then you have to play or jump through all those hoops, and it will export to it. So the tracks that are already on Dropbox and you are using in Virtual DJ will still be regarded as what we call local stored files. So I didn't like that implementation. I was hoping that they would make that a little bit more trickier, but that's what they decided. But the most important thing is in the new version, the My Lists, and that is something that you need to get used to. Alberto Adami, welcome to the stream, my friend. Statement to the Coachella incident. Well, actually, you are in luck, my friend, because that was the next thing that we are going to talk about. And indeed, I made a slide deck for that. Can you imagine that I made a slide deck just to talk about the major incident? Now, for all of you who have been living under a rock, have no idea what we are talking about, this weekend was the first weekend of the Coachella festival. And for those of you unaware, Coachella is one of the very big pop festivals in the world, and I think it's one of the most influential pop festivals in the world. Now, something happened at a Saturday, and before I dive into this, I'm making this like a three-part story. First, I'm going to just tell you what happened from the information that is available online. Then I'm going to go into the technicalities of what happened, which means I'm going to, from scratch, like talking to a 5-year-old, I'm going to explain to you what went wrong, and I'm going to demonstrate that. So I'm not only going to tell you, but I'm also going to show you what went wrong at that Coachella incident. And after that, we look at the artist in question, what she had to tell about. So this will be a three-parter, and after that maybe I give my own personal opinion about it. I have to think about if I will do that or not. So that is the way we are going to work through this. For those of you just joining, welcome to the stream. Let's start with Coachella. So we had the first week or the first weekend of Coachella. It's actually 2 weekends, and both weekends are kind of identical. And one of the names on the ballot was this year a lady named Grimes. Now I have to tell you, I had no idea who she was. Of course, I'm not in her key or target demographic. I'm not the guy she's making the music for, but I never heard of her. Apparently I had to Wikipedia her, and it turns out that she was, she is the mother of Elon Musk's 3 children. She brought out some albums. One of those albums is called Kidding in Prime, which is a direct reference to the Harkonnen planet in Dune. Dune being one of my favorite books as a youngster, and of course the Dune movies by Villeneuve are great too. So someone who makes an album called like that can't do much wrong with me. But hey, something went wrong during her set at Coachella. And it went so wrong that it blew up online, and a lot of people made fun memes about it. This is something that I saw from the Cynical DJ, where they introduce it as the Pete Tong's DJ Academy as a new techno teacher. This one I found very clever, but I don't know what the original source of it is. Being Grimes in one of in Weekend Millionaires with the various responses that she gave. And this one is, I think, the one closest to the truth. This is how most DJs on social media reacted to what happened on stage at Grimes. a little snobbish, a little looking down to it, and I think that is not fair. Again, I didn't know the lady before, I still don't know the lady. I heard a little bit of her music. It's not my cup of tea, it's absolutely not what I like, but to each his own. After the disaster, she put out a tweet. And that tweet is kind of interesting because in that tweet she tries to explain her behavior and why certain things were happening, while actually this isn't the whole story you get. For instance, a sentence like, "I've outsourced essential things like Rekordbox BPMs." That whole phrasing of things remember me of the hit show Silicon Valley on HBO, something Milou and I really enjoyed and loves. And what do you mean you outsourced the BPMs? Did you utilize Scrum methodology for a set list? So your set list was made through Scrum? Or did you maybe select SD cards using SWOT analysis? Outsourcing BPMs, it really didn't make much sense to me. Then the other thing that is very interesting is that the CDJs were showing me BPMs like 370. The maximum BPM that a CDJ can show you is 300, but apart from that, she also said I couldn't mix manually by ear because she is complaining about the monitors being off. Now what is interesting, if you look at the start of the set, you can clearly see that she is wearing a headset. So whatever the monitors are doing is not very important because you have your headset, so you can hear what you are doing like any DJ does. So why should that be a problem? But apparently that was a problem for her. At the end of the set, somehow she lost her headset. So this is near the end, this is after the middle of her set, I guess, and the headset was gone. So there was a headset there, and if she had used it, it would be fine. So she made in the tweet a whole list of things that she learned, but actually there were two things that she really should put on the list. First, don't blame the help. She blames that she outsourced it and that person did. Never blame the help. Second of all, and that is something that she really did wrong, and that is something that you will see in the clip that I'm going to show you after explaining to you technically what happened. She did add tracks very close to the beginning of the gig. And never add tracks to your USB if you are about to go on stage, because you don't have the time to double check, you don't have the time to make backups, you don't have time. So don't do that, no matter how good the tracks are. This is kind of the same thing that happened to ZEDD at Ultra Miami 2023 last year. And he says it there, 20 minutes before stage time, somehow my USB corrupted when I updated the set and nothing would load at all. So he updated his set close to his prime time, and to continue, songs would say 1 BPM but play in another, and I couldn't figure out what was going on and freaking out the entire show. Now, what is causing this thing that everybody is talking about, where BPMs that they see on the CDJ display is not the actual BPM that they expect to see? And for that you have to go a few steps back. There is only one proper way to export to a USB for CDJ usage, and that is through Rekordbox. Because in Rekordbox you can do something that is called analysis. And that analysis, depending on the options you choose, will analyze a track for BPM and grid. And the grid is that vertical line thingy that is actually used by things like the sync, by auto or by auto loops, and by beat effects. So that grid is very important. Before the CDJ 3000, a CDJ could not analyze for grid on its own. It always required the tracks to be analyzed in Rekordbox. However, Pioneer decided that in their wisdom the CDJ 3000 has now the capability to analyze tracks for BPM and grid if it doesn't have a BPM and or grid. Now remember, each track always needs to be analyzed regardless, because that graphical waveform, that graphical representation you see on your screen when you load a track in the DAC, that is coming from analysis. So even the CDJ 2000 was automatically analyzing tracks, but not for BPM and grid. Now before I go to deep dive into BPM, grid and BPMs, we need to make a distinction between two things. You have BPMs as a tag, and a tag is something, some piece of data stored inside an audio file. And you have BPM and grid as detected by the analysis. And those things don't have to be the same. And that is what we are going to demonstrate first, how BPM that you expect on a track, and that is not the USB that I wanted to have. So let me put a different one in. This should be the way. Let's double check. Because this USB is not analyzed by Rekordbox. I even used it on my Denon gear. You could see an engine library there. Let's make a new extra tracks. And then take some random top 40 tracks. Put them on the USB. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to edit the BPM tag in my case KIT 3, but you can do this in any software you like. And for instance, if you have Serato tracks, then those Serato tracks will have a certain BPM. So that BPM is set by Serato. So let's give them the BPM 33, which doesn't make any sense at all, but it is important that you remember, alright, we now have a bunch of tracks that are on the USB and the BPM in the tag is 33. On old CDJs that didn't analyze for BPM grid, that 33 would be used as the base on the screen. If you work with the pitch, it will say, alright, you are going up and down compared to that 33. But because the CDJ 3000 does BPM and beat grid analysis, something will change. And let's zoom in on my CDJ. Let me get my USB with me. And you will see in a moment exactly what I mean by that. There we are. Let's hydrate a little bit, because this is high maintenance stuff. And I hope you guys are still with me. Let's take the USB as a source. And I hope this comes out readable on the screen, but the CDJ already warns me there is no Rekordbox database on this USB, telling you, hey, listen, whatever you're doing, it's not analyzed. Let's take one of those tracks I just put in, and you can see if you look closely that there is already 33 at the tag of the BPM. So it reads the MP3 tag and it sees, alright, it's 33. The moment I load the track in, it will tell me 33 BPM. However, while we are talking, it is analyzing. And how do I know it is analyzing? There is a red line here, and that red line is running. And now you see the graph appearing, and then you see the small overview appearing. And what's that 33? What's that 33? Bam! It just went to 132.6. In other words, a track that was not analyzed by Rekordbox, but plain copied to a USB, will display the BPM from the tag at initial load, and only after the CDJ 3000 is finished with the automatic analysis, it will show you the BPM that it analyzed for, and that doesn't has to be the same BPM. So let me do that one more time. Let's go back to my browse. Let's take the 𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗀 track, 33 BPM. The red line is starting there and it is slowly moving. There we have the detailed view from the waveform. There are no grids yet. They will kick in a moment after it has stopped, so you don't have any grid there. I just zoomed into it, so you might be able to see it. And there is our grid, and you see that our BPM went up to 114. So that is one thing that went wrong in that set. The other thing that went wrong in this set is kind of related, and that is called the double half BPM. I will load a different track from my USB, and that track has also not been analyzed because nothing has been analyzed, and that is a song some of you might know, 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀 Rainbow in the Sky. It is showing me 168, but it is analyzing, so it will change in a moment. While on the other CDJ 3000, I am also going to load a track in, and that track of course is also not analyzed. I get a message that the Rekordbox database is not found, so nothing has been analyzed. And I take another track that most of you might know, 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀, because I got high. And it is loading as an 82.8 BPM track, but it is analyzing. In the meantime, this one has been finished analyzing and it comes out as a 166 BPM track, which is about right. And I'm going to make that a 166 track because I already know what's going to happen to 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀 because I got high. That is an 83, or actually an 83 even track, which means this is 166, this is 83, this is double that one. And all proper DJs know that if a track is doubled, then it really doesn't matter. Why are you not responding? Hold on. I want it. That's fine. Ah, that's fine too. All right. And now I need to go back to the beginning. Because what I want to do is actually put, no, that's not what I want. Exit the loop, please. I want to go there and I want to make a 16-beat loop and I want to store it. So this, the 166 BPM, has a loop of 16 beats, 166 BPM. Now on the other deck, I'm going to set simply a Q. Let me put the volume a little bit lower, because otherwise I might get in trouble with our friends from YouTube. But the moment I start both tracks at the same time, so let's do that manually like this. You hear that everything is perfectly in sync. I know it's soft, but I do that to fool the algorithm. So this is fine. I set it everything manually and that is working fine. Now let's do the same thing, but this time I'm going to use sync on the other deck and I hope it comes out visibly. Now it says 83 BPM. Let's start the tracks together again. And of course, now this time it doesn't do it. That's weird. So I have to find out why it's not doing what it's supposed to do, because this is a typical Grimes moment. Because it should tell us that this one will be 166. There is a difference, namely, between analyzed tracks or tracks analyzed through CDJ 3000s and tracks analyzed through through Rekordbox. So let me get that CDJ USB out, make sure that they are not analyzed. And we are just going to do this again because this is very weird. But this is actually what was happening to Grimes. And what I wanted to show you guys is how you can recover from that. So let me double check this. Let me take that one off. but you can already see the inconsistency because, hey, trust me, I did rehearse this and it did work not right where. Let's see. There we go. And there we go to the overview. And let me load the USB again. It gets me the warning. Let's load it here too. That's fine. Then we are going to say loading the 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀 track or the 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀 track here, which is analyzing, and loading the djay track here, which is also analyzing. So one moment for the analysis to finish. Both are finished now, and let's make this our master track, and let's make our 16-beat loop. This is not, there's something not working right here, because it will not allow me to set my loop, and that is, there we go, finally. This is already puzzling me why it's not allowing me to set my loop on the 3000, but hey, who knows? We are doing this especially for Grimes, or to put it in her.
I hope this works. We're having a major technical difficulty. But fuck it!
Like that. Thank you, Grimes. Let's do it like this. So let's have the loop running. And then, no, it's doing it just fine. No idea, folks, why it's not doing the thing that it usually does, because this is what happened at Grimes. And I can swear to you that I did it multiple times today, and that all the times it was doubling up. I see that the master has changed. Let me double check that again. No, no way. It is not possible to get it to go up to 166. While, like I said, it was doing that exactly a moment ago. Very, very weird behavior. Let me double check that, because I really don't get it. But this is just, so this is what happened to her. It's the analysis in the CDJ that is different from the analysis in Rekordbox, and that causes the fact that doubling BPMs are not correctly done. Is the tempo reset? 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀, you are my hero. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀 came with the reason why it was not working, because CDJs have a tempo reset. And that means that you can do whatever you like to do, but it will never ever change. So let's do this again, shall we? My bad. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀, very good. So you see, it even catches me. So don't blame Grimes too much. Let's do this one more time. So there we've got the 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀, and then we go to the 𝗶𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 thing. Needs to be analyzed. You see it analyzing in real time right now. I feel so stupid, Alberto. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, man. Now let's wait for this to happen. And while we do, let's put like that. I don't care. And that one is not finished. Analyzing. Is it? Oh, it is. There you go. 16. Put one there. So let's start that one up. Make that the master. And then we hit the sync. And it still will not go up. It looks, Alberto, that actually wasn't the case. I really don't know what is happening. Help me out, Grimes.
I hope this works. We're having a major technical difficulty.
So let's see why this is not... yeah, that's my response too, but I've seen this behavior too before, because once the track has been previously analyzed, it will be fine. So what I will do is I will reset the database one more time, and I do that on my screen so everybody can see what I'm doing. Like I say, this is total transparency, folks. And we will do this yet again one more time. Hey, 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏, my friend, good to have you with us. And how do I know for sure that I did erase it? It's even worse. My Pioneer folder is not created. So there is something strange going on my USB, because it should have a Pioneer folder now. So you know what? I take it out and I'm going to reformat that drive, because I think there is some residual data there that is messing up with my demonstration. macOS extended is fine, guide is fine, audio files is also fine. I'm Dutch, and we just say, all right, karma, or something like that. But we're not giving up, because this can be a major problem. So that's the reason why I still want to make sure that everybody understands how this works. But like I said, the fact that there was no Pioneer folder there kind of raises a red flag for me. So let me eject the USB. And then let's do this one more time, shall we? And after that, we are going to continue the show with the rest of the things that I wanted to discuss. But I want this to work, or actually I want to show you guys what works, because it is something that can catch you. And by the way, the tempo reset Alberto is one of the reasons why you want to see this, because there were some demonstrations online of this same behavior where was said, all right, you cannot recover from it, but you can recover from it. You can take the sync off and then simply say reset, and then you are fine. So there are ways to take it off, but I want to see what's going on. So this will be the last time that I try this, folks. Then after that we are going to the next topic, but I want to make sure that indeed this is working. But it's always fun to, if you want to explain what went wrong with somebody and you cannot reproduce it. That at least gives you some level of inconsistency that should not happen with this kind of gear at all, period. All right, we are back at 166 BPM here, and I am back at 83 BPM on my other deck. I take the beat sync off, I make this the master. I give it a 60-bit loop or 60-beat loop like this. I give this a cue. No way that it will indeed sync up. So I totally flabbergasted, but guys, this is what it is. We are unable to replicate it. While I have been replicating this like a gazillion times, including having employees from 𝗶𝗶𝗃 watching me over a Zoom connection doing this. So for some reason, my CDJs today decided not to do this. It is what it is, but keep in mind, I want to double check something else, because yeah, it now does exactly what it needs to do, because you cannot see that, but the moment I press beat sync on the 83 player, it says out of range. And that is the message that you want to have, which prevents that it is going to double a half tempo, because it knows, all right, it's a half tempo, I will not do that. But like I said, for the life of me, I cannot get them to behave the way they behaved just a moment ago. So for that, sorry folks, but what was going wrong, I can still tell you, is the fact that the analysis through Rekordbox is different than the analysis through the CDJs. We already spoke about the fact that if you have a BPM tag with a certain BPM value and you analyze them, that BPM value may change. Now if we do the same little test on our computer, so in Rekordbox, so let me get some of those tracks from my top 40 list. Like this. Then you will see that it has the very same behavior. Open with Kit 3. And let's select all the tracks and let's change the BPM to 33, like this. And then let's add them to Rekordbox. And I'm going to make sure that the auto analysis is off in Rekordbox. So, hey, there's a new Rekordbox out, you see that? 685. Haven't played with that before, so you got it live on the spot right here. 6.8.5 has been released. Have to see, in a moment we will go to the Rekordbox site and just look together what was new with it. And I forgot to switch my camera, which I often do. So here we are in Rekordbox and I want to make sure that the auto analysis is not going to kick in automatically, and that's under analysis. And the auto analysis is disabled, which is exactly what I want to happen. And then let's make a playlist. I did put some tracks already in a test playlist in an Untitled folder right here. And load them in. Now if you look at the BPM of those tracks, let's turn the BPM on. It should be on already. BPM is not showing right here. I did tag them 33 BPM. The moment I load a track in a Rekordbox deck, it will prompt me that it needs to be analyzed for BPM, grid, key, etc, etc. And I don't see that 33 like I see on the CDJ anywhere, but it will now analyze it for BPM and grid. There you go. And there it says 137 BPM. Now at this point in time I can correct it. If this is not the correct BPM, then this is the point where you correct it. But if a CDJ 3000 auto-analyzed for BPM and grid, there is no way to correct it. You cannot make it the correct BPM. So even if it did analyze, you can of course go here inside the grid and then you can write here. So now actually this is 120 BPM and then it will change it to 120 BPM. Obviously this is wrong, but this gives you the ability to fix your grid instead of having to deal with whatever the CDJ 3000 analysis comes up with. And that is why it's so important that you prepare your tracks and you analyze your tracks within Rekordbox. Another excuse that she used was, I didn't have any CDJs to test them. You don't need any CDJs to test. If we take, let's take the same USB, oh it's still there. If we take the same USB that I used a moment ago in my CDJs, and I'm going to put it inside here, wait for it to appear. No, oh yes, why not? Go ahead. All right, there we have the USB was named audio files. And if I open it, I don't see any tracks at all because it didn't have the database. So I can take, for instance, the test playlist and put it on the audio files. Let's go. And there is your test database. And there I can double check what the BPM is going to be. Now those tracks were not analyzed and it will make sure that they are analyzed before they are gone to the USB. And you can tell that by the fact that now the BPMs are appearing, while a moment ago they didn't have any BPM. And if I load a track from the devices part in Rekordbox in the deck, I will see actually what its BPM will be. There we got it. That is the BPM that it's going to use. And remember that one that I changed to 120. Let's see if we, or 122, let's see if we can find it. This is 120. And now watch what happened. My BPM column is wrong with that. So make sure that you double check that kind of stuff. And you can triple check. If you go to the preferences, I can double check if it is writing its right value to key. It's only the key analysis. So it didn't change my BPM, but I did change my BPM, and you can see by the grid, because the grid is totally off, that this is not correct. So I need to check here. Oh, it's even better. The mess is going to be very complete, because right here you can see that it has 120 as a BPM. So here it has 120 as a BPM, but the same track exported here has 137 as a BPM. So yes, that is one of the other things. We already went, we are kind of 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗀 talking about the Grime's issue, and I was hoping I could reproduce it live here. But no, there is not. There is a setting to autoplay a track when you whack the fader over. Yeah, there is. But okay, replace it. Okay, replace it. And now it's 120. So now it did export it correctly to the 120. Obviously, because it was loaded in the deck, it was not set correctly yet. But once you unload it, you will be fine. So there is another inconsistency thingy that you might run into. Let me do that again for you guys if you missed it. So let's load this one in the deck. Then let's make the BPM, go to the grid. We are on the grid, and let's make the BPM 100 even. 100. So I changed it to 100, which means 100 is being used. However, right here it tells you it's 120. If without doing anything, I'm going to export this, or just export the track, why not? Oh, I can do it like this. Export this. It will still export it at 120 in the BPM column, but it will be 100 on the device. So if I go to test right here, it's still 120, but let's load it up, shall we? And there you see it's 100. So these two don't match, but it's actually using 100. Now if I go back to my playlist and I watch again, it is now 100 because I reloaded it from the deck. I loaded a different track. So yes, you have a problem there and you need to be aware of it. It's still at 100 right here, but if we export it right now, it will be 100 or 120 there. It will be 102. So that's kind of juggling. And this is the kind of checking that you need to do on your computer in Rekordbox before you have a gig. Make sure BPMs are correct, and you need to check the grid BPM and if it corresponds to the BPM of the actual column, which you usually use to load the track, which you usually use to navigate, because you cannot see the grid BPM. You can only see the BPM that is stored in the column, in the BPM column. So that needs to be correct, and it needs to correspond to the BPM that is actually shown on the screen. But what this all boils down to is that most likely what Miss Grimes did, she did add some tracks last minute and did add them most likely by just dragging them to the USB instead of going through Rekordbox, analyzing the track, checking the grid, and then exporting from Rekordbox to the USB, and that will kill it off. Now, there are some things that she said, and the thing is, during this whole set, this whole Coachella set, she had like a gazillion times that she stopped the set and was talking about technical difficulties. Now, none of those technical difficulties should for a professional be an issue, because if you come prepared, you shouldn't have them at all. But even if they happen to you, you can take the sync off, you can put your headphones on, and you can beat sync. But that was something that she wasn't doing. She was relying totally on the grid. And if that grid is off, or if that grid is non-existing, and the CDJ 3000 is going to analyze for a BPM grid, which you cannot correct on the device, then you're totally fucked. And that is exactly what happened there. So let's have a look there.
Okay, before I start any more songs, I just want to say, in the very classic Grimes fashion, I am having the... This is very hard to explain because it's a complex technology, but everything has been put to a double tempo, so I'm doing a lot of internal math in my mind.
Alright, so here she is referring to problem number 1, a double tempo. Like I said, a double tempo problem only occurs if tracks are analyzed with the CDJ 3000, and as you all could see, I couldn't replicate it tonight, but like I said, this has been replicated before. Double tempos means unanalyzed tracks in Rekordbox, analysis in the CDJ 3000, and that will not double tempo correctly. The lower track will actually double in tempo to the playing to the master track, and that can go totally wrong, of course, if you don't pay attention.
To make the tracks go together, and I'm having to... It's hard to explain. But it is my fault for handing in the last track about an hour and a half ago.
Here is something crucial what she says. She says, it's my fault, obviously it's your fault, by adding another track 1.5 hours ago. And my bet is that track that was added was not gone through Rekordbox, was not being analyzed, but she just copied it on the USB. She thought, all right, I worked on this track and hey, that is it. But I think that is what went wrong there.
So I take responsibility for this because, yes, I should not have done that. Because of the technical difficulty we're having, I cannot tell what the CDJ is reading, so I'm going to...
So here you go with, I cannot tell what the CDJs are reading, and you can see that she is obviously not wearing her headphones anymore.
Guess the BPM of the song, and I'm going to use my ear and try to make it work. So, if I will do that right for you, I will do this correctly for you. It's currently reading 134, and I...
Very important. Currently reading 134. Most likely this is the result of the analysis done by the CDJ 3000.
No, it's 173, so...
Because it should be 173, which is not even a double. It is like what I demonstrated earlier. If there is BPM information in the tag of the audio file, that is what will first be displayed on Nexus 2's. That is what will be used if you use the pitch fader. However, on CDJ 3000s you get the beat grid analysis and it will come up with whatever it analyzes. And 134 is obviously not 173. So there is a description there, and that is what went wrong there.
This could be cray, but let me handle this.
And this could be indeed great if you were using headphones and actually used the gear as it was intended. First thing she had to do, or she would have needed to do, is take off that sync. Take the sync off and don't rely on whatever the screens are telling you. Put your headphones on and put your tracks in sync. Obviously, because they were not analyzed, they didn't have cues, they were not in playlists, which adds a whole new dimension to all the problems you have. So the moral of this story is, if you have a gig, don't add any tracks at the last minute, don't add any tracks right before the gig, and make sure that all your tracks are analyzed in Rekordbox for BPM and grid, and that the actual BPM shown in the BPM column corresponds to the BPM that is shown on the grid, and that it is actually the BPM that you expect it to be. And if you don't do that, then you will fail, and you will fail miserably. Now, my whole thing right here is that she is obviously an artist and a producer. And here comes my beef with the whole DJ producer moniker. I understand that if you are a producer, you need to perform in order to make money. If you produce music and all your money is coming from the sales of media, which is close to non-existent compared to like 30 years ago, or from streaming services, which is very little money, you need to perform in order to make money. So she needs to be on stage, she needs to perform. And One of her hallmarks is that she does everything by herself, so she can't be there with a band. But why not use your computer? Like, for instance, the Chemical Brothers, they've got complete synthesizers on the stage that they play with. Or like the brothers Disclosure, who have a drum kit and a keyboard and everything on stage. And yes, they still do kind of a DJ set sometimes, but most of the time they are just performing. And if you are not a DJ, and a DJ in my book is somebody who reads the room, who curates the playlists, who prepares the tracks, and who mixes the tracks, and not just somebody who makes the tracks and mixes the tracks. That's a different ball game. That's a different thing. So again, I have a beef with the term DJ producer. I know very little high-end DJs who can use that name correctly. For instance, 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗺𝗺, I know he is a perfect DJ and he is a producer. David Guetta in his time was a great DJ and he's a very good producer. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃, he's a producer and a great DJ. But a lot of people who call themselves producer DJ actually are either a very good DJ or a very good producer. But not many can mix that. So maybe it is time that those producers of dance music who wants to be on stage think about a different way of performing instead of doing a DJ set. Because if you are not a DJ and you don't have a DJ heart and you don't know DJ equipment, then you're not a DJ and you can get into this kind of troubles and not recover from it. And I don't want that to happen to our craft because it's such a beautiful craft. I love being a DJ. I'm proud to be a DJ. The positive thing that comes out of all of this grime stuff, of course, is that, first of all, it's established that being a DJ is a craft and it's not just button pushing, because if that was all there was to it, then she would be perfectly fine. And secondly, not all festival DJs use pre-recorded sets. Of course, we had 𝗫𝗫𝗀𝗃 in the past telling us that every DJ on stage, on a festival stage, use pre-recorded sets because the lights are in sync with what. And I already debunked that a few AMAs ago by telling you how exactly the lights are synchronized with the audio and stuff like that. And she just demonstrated to us it's not a pre-recorded set ever, because if it was a pre-recorded set, then she wouldn't have this problem. But moral of the story, stop with using the term DJ producer unless you truly are one. And if you are a producer and if you want to be on a stage, and I hope you can be that producer to be on a stage, think about a different way of performing instead of mimicking being a DJ. It wouldn't cut it and it won't fall for it. So I'm very curious what will happen next weekend when Miss Grimes is going to do the same set again. But at least I hope that then she will have prepared the tracks and maybe go a little bit further. I saw a lot going on in the chat, so let's talk to the chat for a moment and see what is going on there. And I got off my soapbox here. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃, I think you hate indeed setting beat grids. Yeah, it's tedious work, but it needs to be done. Yes, we were talking about the grime issue. So yes, that was also done. There's setting autoplay track. Yeah, that's the autoplay with the fader. Every CDJ I go to play on does this. I hate this. I'm not sure what you mean by this, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃, but if you analyze your tracks to Rekordbox, you should always be fine. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 sounds like they're still talking about the fader issue. Yeah, and that is indeed what went wrong there. She assumed that a lot of things went right, but you cannot assume at this level of performance. You cannot assume. You need to be sure. And I'm convinced that she put months of work in preparing her tracks, and I'm convinced that she put months of work in preparing the graphics for her show. So it's not like she's not doing her work, but she's not a DJ. And if you're not a DJ, then don't try to be one. Yeah, that always works. Loading the settings when you plug in anything. No, 𝗵𝗲𝗍𝗻, she was not using in-ear monitors. She was using over-ears, and you can see if you go back in the stream. When I started, I showed some pictures where the over-ears were clearly around her neck, and after a while they were gone. Let's see, what else do we have? There's the 𝗖cie DJ, yeah. All right. No. Oh, 𝗵𝗲𝗍𝗻 didn't mean the beat grids. Then what did you mean if you didn't mean the beat grids? Always curious thing there. Then I had some final thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys, and that is called Ableton Link. Ableton Link is also a synchronization method, and the good thing about Ableton Link is that it's not proprietary, but it's absolutely free for everybody to use, and it works over a network. Now, which means that every device in that network that can see each other can Ableton link with each other. And our friends from Algorithm DJ, for instance, have Ableton Link incorporated in their product. And that Ableton Link is sending out, you guess it, the beat grid signal. Let me get to my iPhone. Let me turn it on. There we go. Make sure that it is working. There we are. Let's go to DJ. Now, in order to make Ableton Link working, you have to turn it on. And it's not on by default. On iOS, it's pretty easy. If you press the little Algorithm DJ circle at the top of the screen, that is that the yellow circle with the white around it, then you can go to Settings, which is at the right lower corner of the screen. And there you find a button named Ableton Link. I will toggle it on. It's on right now. So Ableton Link is on my iPhone, and you can see it by those little bars moving there. That is actually the Ableton Link trying to link up. Let me load just a song from the free collection, a 120 BPM song. What do you know? So that is done. Now, the harder part for me was finding Ableton Link within Algorithm DJ for macOS. My computers are on the same network, so that is all set fine. So, no problems there. And let's load up a random track. And that track is 81 BPM, as you can see. Now, if I go to my preferences in Algorithm DJ, there is nowhere where you can find that Ableton Link feature. So I was thinking, what am I doing wrong? Turns out Ableton Link within Algorithm DJ is under the speaker symbol. And if you click on the speaker, then you have right there Ableton Link. And if I enable it, connected to one app, which is my iPhone on the same network. Which, oh, hold on, I didn't want to quit that, sorry, my bad. There we are. And let's make sure that my Ableton Link, oh, it doesn't turn it on. So now it's on. Let's load up a track. And if I play the track for a little bit on my iPhone, so I'm starting it right now, so that means that the Ableton Link is now getting 120 BPM. And you can see it right there that it all of a sudden goes to 120 BPM. If I turn the sync off, we go back to its default BPM. So track of 120 BPM is playing, and the moment I say sync right here, it is synchronized. Now, the fun fact about this is that it doesn't only work with DJ to DJ, and you can, for instance, use your iPad as DAC 3 or 4 or stuff like that. No, it also works with loopers, so you can use a sampler or a looper to create loops that will stay perfectly fine on beat with whatever is playing. And on the Engine DJ gear, on, for instance, my 𝗬𝗎 6000s, this also works. So let's have a look there. Let me get some deck savers off and then move the cam over so you guys can see it. Like this. And let me turn this one on. And those paying close attention now know why there was an engine library on that particular USB. Is USB already ejected? No, it's not. And let's switch it to here. So that's my 𝗬𝗃 𝗀𝗏. And let's, can I get that better? Hold on. That's a little bit better. Like this. And let's zoom in a little bit. No, that's fine. All right, so here I am at the 𝗬𝗃 𝗀𝗏, and if you go inside the preferences, that's fine, go ahead. I want to go to the preferences. And you go to the settings, and then and you go to services, right there. There you have Ableton link as well. And the moment you turn it on, everything is linked up with each other. So right now my 𝗬𝗃 𝗀𝗏 is also linked with my iPhone playing. So if I load the track and I sync it up, it will go to 120 BPM. Let's check that out. So let's go to the source. Right there. The track is 114 BPM. It's analyzing it right now. And the moment I hit sync, it goes to 120, exactly what you expect it to do. So, yeah, all right, I was doing that correctly. So, Ableton link is there, it's in Algorithm DJ, but you need to enable it in the desktop version, and it's a little bit hidden. And of course you need to enable it on anything else that you want to sync with each other. But then it's a very powerful feature. It doesn't require any setup. The only thing that is important about it is that everything should be on the same network in order for it to run or to work. Let's see, what else do we have? 𝗵𝗲𝗿𝗀. Hi 𝗵𝗲𝗿𝗀, are you able to cover how to best way update new files on USB when using iPad and djay Pro? Yes, Matthew, I can dive into that a little bit. The problem with that is that you cannot do that from djay desktop. The only way you can do that is going through iTunes, and then it will not take the USB as a playlist. The problem is that Algorithm is using not the same methodology to describe files on a USB in macOS desktop versus macOS versus djay iOS. And there lays your problem. And there is no easy going around it. Of course you can use the djay conversion utility to convert, but then it will convert to, for instance, Algorithm DJ desktop, and that works perfectly fine. But the moment you sync the database, you copy the database from djay macOS to djay iOS, you will lose the absolute file path to your USB track. So there is a discrepancy there between Algorithm DJ, iOS and macOS, where you can use iOS to create playlists, and those you can convert on macOS or with the djay conversion utility, but the macOS version of djay will not recognize the contents of those playlists. It will not find those tracks because it uses a different method of addressing them. I'm already talking to Algorithm about this because I find this a bug and I think they should fix it. It's very easily fixable. I fixed it already in the djay conversion utility, but they need to fix it for Algorithm DJ macOS. So I hope they will do that. All right. Oh, okay. You were talking about that fader thing with. I understand. Let's see. What else do we have? The missing link can help you play with any MIDI gear with Ableton link. Yeah, that is correct. That is one of the other things. Link is as simple as MIDI. Very cool. Link is way more flexible than MIDI. MIDI is always, you always have to give a MIDI device, a MIDI address and stuff like that. Not with Ableton Link. You can, I think, use up to 5 devices which will all sync to the pulse that is going to be put on Ableton Link on the network. So that is one of the things. It's very, very flexible. You're welcome, Toshiba. More than welcome. And Matthew, thank you as well. My friends, I think we came close to the end of this live stream.
I hope this works. We're having a major technical difficulty. But fuck it.
Like that. I hope that I explained a little bit what went wrong on Coachella and that you understand what went wrong. But again, the takeaway is prepare, prepare, prepare. And if you have prepared, make sure that you double checked the preparation and have backups. Backups was basically what went wrong with other big name DJs. So you have to, you really need...
This is very hard to explain because it's a complex technology, but...
I think I'm going to keep those two jingles, so you might see them more often in my live stream because they are very funny. All right, my friends, we're coming to the end of the stream. Unless there are people with questions, then I'm happy to address them. Otherwise, I hope to see you guys all next week. Same time, 7 o'clock PM Central European Time on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and even Instagram these days. However, I cannot see whatever is going on chat-wise on Instagram, so you have to go to YouTube for that. Don't forget, if you like what I'm doing, like, share, subscribe, give the video the thumbs up, and tell your DJ friends about the availability of this information right here, because then it will work better. Tidal Stem is back, but not for DJ. I'm not sure, 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀. I'm not sure because I was able to load tracks from Tidal. I can use Tidal right here. I think I even was in Tidal, but I'm not sure. Let me put the audio off so I'm not going to be like this. And let me take the stems there. No, not yet. Not yet. So at this moment, right now, it looks like Serato 3.13 is the only software that have stems enabled. But indeed, in DJ they are not working yet. But I won't be surprised if very soon there will be an update for DJ 3.13 that will include that. Oh, talking about updates, we almost forgot that. Let's do that together, shall we? Because we discovered that there is a Rekordbox update. And let's find out, and let's download it while we are at it, what that Rekordbox update is all about. The Rekordbox site is notorious for being very slow loader. But here we are, accept all the cookies. Oh, here we are. And indeed, 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀, there you go. Track separation function can now be used with Tidal tracks. And they don't put underneath it that you need to have the proper subscription. I covered that earlier in the stream, what you need to do in order to make this possible. But it looks like indeed Tidal is back for Rekordbox. And I'm going to download and install 3.8.5 here. All right, my friends, that was all for this week. And I hope to see you guys next week. Same channel, same time. Tuesday, 7 o'clock PM Central European Time. 𝗵𝗲𝗿𝗀 signing off.